Apple unveils the new iPhone 6 and quickly hit record sales of 10 million.
Companies can move in here and locate their businesses.
Cal State Northridge is joining the ranks of other Southern California schools to help students launch tech startups. One by one. Thousands of people have marched on Wall Street to protest companies allegedly contributing to climate change.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Lauren Lanos.
And I'm Timothy Whitfield. Apple's new iPhone release got quite a reaction at the Apple stores across the nation. Eddie Gaiona has a report from a store in Santa Monica.
3, 2, 1!
Last week, die-hard Apple fans lined up at Apple stores across the nation. At the Apple store in Santa Monica, many people began camping out days before the release of the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. Although Apple employees were busy, they still managed to treat everyone in line like family.
Coffee, water? Coffee. Gross.
Daniel Long was pleased to see the men and women in blue shirts.
People were really nice, helping you if you needed to go to the bathroom. Gentleman right here. These guys are really cool. People behind me have been really cool, and it's been a really chill environment.
While some were happy for the treats, others love Apple for very different reasons.
For me, Apple has great customer service. That's why I'm so drawn to their products, because I know I'm getting the best of the best, and they take care of me. So that's why I like Apple.
You are probably wondering, which new iPhone is everyone getting? Freeman sure knows what he wants.
I decided to get the bigger one just because, you know, size does matter. I really do appreciate the 1080p screen, and I could be able to watch movies. I also want to take this to class.
While Freeman opted for the bigger iPhone, Long is concerned about the iPhone 6 Plus.
I am worried about it being too big. I have a small hand. I don't need things to remind me that I have small hands.
The iPhone 6 is 4.7 inches, while the iPhone 6 Plus is 5.5.
48 hours later.
In Santa Monica, I'm Eddie Gaiona, Valley View News.
Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator and CSUN have come together, creating a venue that helps students with startups potentially grow into profitable companies. The director of the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, Eric Stieb, says they provide the area to innovate ideas.
We house companies as one of the things that we do. So as we start working with early stage companies, they need office space. So that's what this represents. Companies can move in here and locate their businesses here on campus. This temporary site was a solar test facility, so it was between the Cal State Northridge College of Engineering and Boeing.
The program will allow the San Fernando community to understand how ideas can become a reality in the area of new enterprise. CSUN has pledged $500,000 in funding each year for the first 3 years of operations.
Earlier this month was Suicide Prevention Week.
With more about suicide prevention and CSUN's Blues Project, we go to Studio B and Valley View reporter Danny Max.
Hello, I'm joined alongside Samir Hamawi, an instructor from the Blues Project here on campus. Thanks for joining us today, Samir.
Thank you for having me.
My first question is, Suicide Prevention Week was a couple weeks ago. In terms of creating an entire week to create awareness for suicide prevention, what was the catalyst that created such a week?
So suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst college students, which a lot of people do not know. Third being, I believe, alcohol abuse or overconsumption of alcohol. And so we really try to connect with the students in a mental health component, such as Suicide Prevention Week, right from the very beginning, because they are bombarded with so much information, and that can sometimes cause stress or high levels of anxiety and even depression.
And when does normal stress become depression and can lead to severe depression? How does that?
Well, in the terms of stress, we often hear about depression as an emotion. So for instance, I got a fail on a test, I'm so depressed, and depression as a chronic illness. So depression symptoms lasting more than 2 weeks, going on for, a period of months, even years, is really when that stress becomes unnormal.
Based on your studies and your research, what are some of the most common reasons for committing suicide?
There's a wide variety of reasons. It could be loss of a family member. It could be breakup from a relationship. It could be pre-existing mental conditions. So oftentimes with depression, you'll find a comorbidity with another related issue, maybe such as addiction or even eating disorders, self-harm. So all of those components can add in to causing depression.
And I think sometimes there's such an emphasis on physical health and physical well-being, but sometimes people still feel inhibited to seek out mental health. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We encourage every individual to seek out mental health, not even if you're even in psychological distress, but just to get, up to that status quo and just, maintain that balance in your life.
And what are some recent trends in terms of suicide rates? I know there were 30,000 suicides committed last year. Is that number growing? Are we in...
Well, one study that I recently observed mentioned that in the first 2 weeks of the student's experience on college, across the U.S., 8 students have died because of suicide, in only the first 2 weeks across the U.S.
So what exactly where does the Blues Project come into play then, in terms of on campus and in the community? What sort of things are you involved in?
We specifically provide students with myths and replace them with fact about suicide and depression. We also educate them on how to recognize the warning signs, the do's and don'ts. Also understanding the 3 major types of depression, as well as some of the causes, and then also identifying what a person who is depressed might be feeling so that they know what that specifically looks like. And I kind of went over ISPath 1, but we also elaborate on that as well. And then we also kind of make it an interactive experiential learning atmosphere for the students to really just be able to participate.
So when a student or an individual in the community feels like they have nowhere to go, they have nowhere to turn, what would you say to them? What is that lifeline that they should grab onto? Where should they reach out?
There's a wide variety of resources. So if the person does not have a specific support system, so whether it be friends or family, we would encourage them to maybe exercise or try to find somebody, whether it's a specific faith. So one self-help strategy is they can turn to their specific faith, or they can exercise, they can read self-help books, they can even do an online assessment to kind of try to gauge if they don't feel comfortable in talking to a professional initially. And then if they do want to seek out help, they can go to psychotherapies, counseling support, and then even medication for people who are clinically depressed.
And what has the response been on campus to the Blues Project? Do you have a lot of members or a lot of students that seek assistance?
Surprisingly, yes. We have over like 200 students each semester that come just trying to be peer educators and going out and spreading the word about depression and preventing suicide. So we get a lot.
And if students wanted to learn more information about the Blues Project, where is their best resource of getting that? CSUN.edu/counseling, and then they could click on the Blues Project, and that would inform them on where to go. And then they could also send us an email if they're interested about being a peer educator at blues.project@csun.edu. Thank you very much for joining us today, Samir.
Absolutely.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Student loans are hurting the sales of homes in the U.S. More than 400,000 homes will not be sold because potential buyers are still paying off student loans. An Irvine research firm estimates the average homeowner under age 40 pays $250 each month in student loans. Student loan debt has tripled since 2005. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York found people with student debt are less likely to hold a mortgage than people who never attended college.
Hurricane Odile has left Los Cabos with heavy damage. The storm hit Baja California at the popular Cabo San Lucas resorts. The hurricane was classified as a Category 3. More than 100 people were injured.
A record number of refugees are fleeing Syria. They're afraid of the advancing terrorist group ISIS. A Syrian human rights group says as many as 200,000 Syrians fled in just 4 days as ISIS moved into the area. A Turkish news agency says 130,000 of those refugees have entered Turkey. Turkish officials have trouble handling all the refugees flooding into the country.
Thousands of protesters descended on Wall Street to protest climate change. The demonstration was called Flood Wall Street. Protesters staged a sit-in near the New York Stock Exchange. The demonstrators targeted major institutions that allegedly help finance carbon-polluting industries. A spokesman for Flood Wall Street says there is no greater cause of runaway climate change than an economic system that puts profit before people. Many people taking part in the event said they were willing to be arrested to show their support.
A man found covered in blood in his yard in his South LA home has been charged with killing his 6-year-old son. Alejandro Santoyo Sanchez has been charged with 1 count of murder and assault on a child causing death. Authorities say the boy was found on a bed in the trailer tucked in the back of the home. Sheriff's deputies performed CPR on the child before he was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. Sanchez will remain in county jail on $1.2 million bail.
60 miles east of Sacramento, a wildfire is raging. Residents are being evacuated and a suspect is in custody. 37-year-old suspect Wayne Allen Huntsman is being held at the Placerville courthouse. His bail is set at $10 million. Huntsman is pleading not guilty to charges of felony arson while the fire rages on. Over 75,000 acres have been torched and thousands of residents have been evacuated. This is one of the largest wildfires on record and most expensive, costing $5 million a day to fight this ravaging blaze.
Coming up next in sports, some CSUN students are lacing up their boxing gloves and jumping into the ring.
And CSUN's hockey team is getting ready for a season on the ice.
Come on, let's go.
Just a minute, I gotta finish this.
Wait, you're gonna post those pictures of Mary?
Yep. She thinks she's so hot.
But her mom and dad will see them. Her grandmother, her little sister, everyone she knows, it's gonna kill her.
Who cares? Just a couple of pictures. It's no big deal.
No big deal? Don't. This has gotta stop.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Look at these boots.
Man, those are nice. You should buy them.
Half the price of the real thing. Do you want them?
The production and sale of counterfeit goods cause more harm than meets the eye.
Get to work!
And the profits can fund organized crime.
So, do you want them?
Buying counterfeit products
No way.
is just not worth it.
Do you know what to do?
Yes.
Bring it back to me. Then I'll give you your money.
Frank Thomas, you are under arrest for the theft of trade secrets. Come with me.
Bye-bye, Frank. Theft of trade secrets is illegal.
Now let's check in with Mahina Haina on what's new in sports this week. Mahina, what do you have for us?
Well, Lauren, there's a new sports team on the rise on CSUN's campus. Valley View reporter James Jewett has more on the story.
The goal of every sports organization is not only to win, but also to create a culture of winning. California State University Northridge Boxing is in the first stages of building such a culture. CSUN Sports Club coordinator J.P. Gale has high expectations for this year.
For boxing, I think our expectations are to continue to build on the success they had last year. They had 6 people, I think, or 5 people attend the national championship, 2 national champions, 2 finalists, and I think a 3rd or 4th place, just off the top of my head. So a really successful year. We had, I think, 250 people show up for their info night, so just ridiculous turnout.
The 250 student athletes tried out for the team by going through a standard high school Army Reserves Officer Training Corps fitness test, after which boxing president Macario del Castillo was able to narrow his team down to a size he and national champion Giovanna Miranda were excited about.
We did go from 10 people, 10 of our original team members, and now it expanded to 53 members. And you know, that's exciting news.
I'm really glad a lot of people joined boxing. You know, before we were like 10 people to the max, and now we see more than 10 people. We see all times 6. You know, it's pretty exciting. People come up to me and say, "Hey, you're Gio, you're the boxing champ." That was pretty motivating, actually.
Gail, who has seen the team's progress over the years, has high hopes for this season.
And it's going to be one of those clubs that, you know, people are just shocked that we have, and then they see the development and see what the club does, and it's going to be one of the next big things here, I think.
Matador Boxing's first fights are scheduled to take place at the University of San Francisco's Hilton Cup on October 17th. From California State University Northridge, I'm James Jewett for Valley View News.
The CSUN ice hockey season is right around the corner. Let's go to Valley View reporter Eric Roberts in Simi Valley for more on the Matadors' upcoming season.
The fall semester is in full swing, which means the CSUN ice hockey team is shifting back into gear for the upcoming season. I'm here at the Simi Valley Isoplex, new home to the Matadors ice hockey team, where they're gearing up for the 2014-2015 season. The Matadors enter the 2014-2015 season with plenty of unfamiliar territory for both the new players and veterans on the team. Along with the new season comes a new home rink and a new conference affiliation in the West Coast Hockey Conference. The Matadors made the switch from the Los Angeles Kings Valley Ice Center in Van Nuys, where they had played the previous 9 seasons, to the Simi Valley Isoplex for the immediate future. Head coach J.P. Gale feels the move to Simi Valley will have major effects on CSUN's recruitment opportunities and future.
I think it's going to be a tremendous recruiting opportunity for us. The thing about the Valley Ice Center, it was really close, but it didn't have a high-level youth program, and Simi Valley does. And with that, you know, I'm already talking to youth coaches and players and parents that want to know more about the program, that want to come and watch, and that recruiting opportunity wasn't there.
The Matadors will also be the 5th and newest team in the WCHC, along with Long Beach State, Cal State Fullerton, Loyola Marymount University, and Northern Arizona University. Third-year student and forward Andrew Legale has high hopes for the team this season.
Our goal for this season is to go to nationals. I mean, I think we got a squad this year that could really do that, and we got a lot of depth to the team this year that we haven't had in the past, and pretty much everybody can handle the puck, and I'm just really looking forward to the season.
Above all, the Matadors will be trying to qualify for the national tournament for the American Collegiate Hockey Association. The Matadors came up just short last season, finishing the season ranked 15th in the Western region, with the top 10 teams qualifying for the regional tournament and a shot at qualifying for nationals.
Don't know how many wins that's going to take, if it's going to take 12, if it's going to take 15, if it's going to take 20 wins, but our goal is to finish in the top 10 this year.
The Matadors will host the University of Nevada, Las Vegas on October 3rd and 4th for the first home games at the Simi Valley Isoplex. From Simi Valley, I'm Eric Roberts for Valley View News.
Moving on to national sports, in the MLB, the LA Dodgers are hoping to be the next National League West champions. The Dodgers recently beat the Chicago Cubs 8-5. Dodgers offense was on fire. Early in the game, Hanley Ramirez and Adrian Gonzalez both hit RBI doubles in the first inning. Matt Kemp continues his hot streak, hitting his 23rd home run while driving in 4 RBIs. Yasiel Puig ended the game scoring a career-high 4 runs. The win brings the Dodgers to an overall record of 89-67. Their magic number is 3 in order to clinch the division title. Now let's talk football. The NFL had many close games this week, but reigning Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks, are celebrating a big win in overtime against the Denver Broncos, 26-20. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll says this week they faced a great opponent and his team played like champions.
Really fired up about the way we played. I thought we played really good throughout, and then there was that little spell there in the second half when the safety happens, and then we get backed up a couple times, and then I thought we weathered it really well, and the guys handled it really well.
The Seahawks weren't the only team that squeezed out a win this week. Baltimore Ravens beat the Cleveland Browns 23-21. The Dallas Cowboys gained a win over the St. Louis Rams 34-31, and the Philadelphia Eagles got the W over the Washington Redskins 37-34. I can't wait for next week's games. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
Thank you, Mahina. When we return, find out about a California plan to get people to buy more electric cars.
Okay, sweetie,
You wouldn't
let me
give
see.
yourself or your loved one poison, would you? Then why would you take or give counterfeit medications that may contain the wrong or no active ingredient? Counterfeit medications are out there. They can be ineffective and harmful to your health. Be a smart consumer and know your pharmacy, especially if you're purchasing medication online.
Get Widowmaker.
Dude, you better not be illegally downloading movies again. I don't want a virus on my computer. Seriously.
Yes!
Got it.
They got it. What an idiot. Порожнец жетон. Русский агентьер в момент.
When you rip off copyrighted material, someone could be ripping you off.
What the? Where's my money?
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
You love their music. Why would you steal it? When you illegally download your favorite band's music, they might just disappear. Downloading music without paying for it is just not cool.
And now, let's go to Andrea Batista with the latest in entertainment and business news, including Emma Watson's trip to United Nations.
Thank you, Tim. California Governor Jerry Brown has signed legislation to encourage more people to buy cars with zero or near zero emissions. The goal is to put 1 million clean vehicles on the road by 2023. The legislation would also give plug-in vehicle owners the use of carpool lanes. And low-income residents can receive clean vehicle rebates if they trade in older, more polluting cars. Brown will also be attending the United Nations Climate Summit in New York City to speak about the state's efforts to combat climate change. Americans approaching middle age may be making more money than their parents did, but they are not nearly as wealthy. A new report from Pew Researchers shows that a typical Generation Xer is worth just over $29,000. Their parents, the baby boomer generation, had amassed over $65,000 by the same age. Generation Xers were born between 1965 and 1980. Pew says they could be the first generation in recent history to fall behind their parents in wealth. This shows that many Gen Xers have a hard time holding jobs and won't have enough savings to retire. The Pew survey examined savings, retirement funds, homes, and other investments. Music radio seems to be undergoing some new technological changes. Reporter Dean Perez has more on the story.
This may look like your average radio station setup. Well, it's not. What you're looking at is the future of radio innovation. This radio station is neither AM or FM.
I feel like I wouldn't know enough about Richmond, California, and I'm from the Bay, and as far as me being out here, like...
It is actual free digital radio that was created by Scott Keeney, famously known as DJ Ski. This is Dash. Associate radio producer Danny Calderon manages to break down some of the key aspects of Dash.
Well, we really didn't decide to go against commercial radio. We decided to create a new platform in this new digital world. I mean, FM still exists and it'll still exist, but I mean, it's all about repetitive playlists with them. You just hear the same song.
Dash Radio maintains and provides over 50 different stations of music from one small room that can reach listeners from all over the world. Each computer holds a list of organized musical data that is logged onto a software that can be prepared by radio programmers. It is 24-hour radio that can be updated or changed daily. This new system does not require the usage of free airwaves. Here at Dash, the programming is strictly digital. However, DJs and radio hosts at Dash are able to create their own style and platform on air.
What happens is, the procedure, from what I've heard...
In a city such as Los Angeles, the licensing for an airwave can cost millions of dollars.
Just even as, I think,
Here in Dash Radio, we have 50+ stations that can give you from pop to country to anything else, giving you live personalities and top DJs around the world. Unlike XM, we're completely free and completely commercial free.
Dash Radio is strictly digital. Listeners no longer have to worry about catching a radio signal while driving in their car. The app can be downloaded and you can listen to it on your phone, or if you have an auxiliary cord, you can simply plug it into your car and you'll have radio 24/7. In Hollywood, this is Dean Perez, Valley View News.
Fortune magazine released their annual list of the most powerful women in business. The leading woman is 57-year-old CEO and president of IBM, Ginny Rometty. In second is Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors. Indra Nooyi, the chairman and CEO of PepsiCo, made the list in third. Also in the top 10 is Meg Whitman, the head of Hewlett-Packard and the COO of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg. A report has surfaced that Miss America 2014 was kicked out of her sorority for hazing pledges. Kira Kazantsev attends Hofstra University and was serving as the Alpha Phi head of recruitment. The report says that pledges were called names, criticized over their appearance, and made to perform physical tasks to the point of exhaustion. Kazantsev is a campus advocate for ending domestic violence. She has yet to make a public statement about the allegations. A television reporter in Alaska made quite an exit when she announced live on air that she was quitting her job. KTVA reporter Charlotte Green swore on camera as she told viewers she was quitting to focus on legalizing marijuana in Alaska.
I, the actual owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club, will be dedicating all of my energy toward fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with legalizing marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, not that I have a choice, but I quit.
She said the state doesn't have an easy way for patients to get their medical marijuana. Emma Watson has received a lot of attention for the speech she gave before the United Nations. Watson joined a small group of celebrities bringing attention to violence against the woman. The launch of the He for She campaign wants men involved in stopping the violence. Watson says it takes both sides to end the issue.
We are launching a campaign called He for She. I am reaching out to you because we need your help. We want to end gender inequality. And to do this, we need everyone involved.
Powerhouses Jane Fonda and Liam Neeson's films were outperformed by a cast of newcomers. Topping last weekend's charts, bringing in $32.5 million in ticket sales, was Maze Runner.
That's the maze. Every morning when those doors open, the runners look for a way out.
This film was adapted from James Dashner's young adult novel and is already slated for a sequel. A Walk Among the Tombstones came in a distant second, pulling in a lackluster $13.1 million. Neeson plays a washed-up private detective who helps a drug ring get revenge. Third place this weekend was This Is Where I Leave You. The star-studded dramedy grabbed $11.9 million. Other notable mentions are No Good Deed starring Idris Elba and family film Dolphin Tale 2 starring Morgan Freeman. I can't wait to watch Maze Runner this week. That's all for now. Back to you, Tim and Lauren.
Thank you. That's everything we have here at Valley View News. I'm Lauren Lanos.
And I'm Timothy Whitfield.